Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. On this video I'm going to be discussing how I manage stress. I had a little bit of stress that actually took me from creating content for a couple of months, and it was because of different factors, but now I'm back on this content. Well, in this video we're going to be talking about how I manage my stress. Stay tuned for the rest of the video. My name is Lisema Matsietsi. I need to reintroduce myself. I feel like it's been like a little forever. Let me just say, last year, about 2021, we started this nice journey. And at one point, I didn't realize that I was going through stress because, you know, you have this machine going. I'm one of those guys, wake up from 4 o'clock, you already got everything else packed up. By the time that everybody else goes to the office, I'm already like halfway done. So, COVID happens, we all at home, but I don't think it was COVID that actually triggered me. What really triggered me was the death of my very close colleague. He sat very close to me. He's the guy that I used to bounce ideas with way before I started this channel, around 2018, 2019. I was doing my masters and I was telling him about the benefit of doing the masters. 2021, when he passed away, as he was about to start his dissertation, and we queued up, this is how your dissertation should look like. When he passed away in the December of 2021, I didn't feel it. I still kept going, everything else was okay. And then the new year happened and I posted my last video here was me saying, thank you for 2021, 2020 is gonna be even more awesome. And just the following week, got in touch with the wife and I think everything else just boiled up. And I started asking myself to say, this guy died so young, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? All of those. So I think that stress of him passing away, being taken away while he was still quite young, actually hit me quite hard. That I went and I looked at myself. I realized that at that point my stress level was escalating to a point that I think most of the things that I was doing, I started, you know, pushing back a little bit. This channel being one of those. Even though I still saw all the comments that were coming through and I was humbled by how the channel subscription was growing. I see myself, wow, questions that I'm getting are saying get back onto the horse. But I'm glad I took some time off, because at that time I asked myself what is quite important to me. I cannot push back family, I cannot push back my studies. I volunteered at the church, I could not push it back. I thought that was the first thing that I was going to push back, but I could not push it back due to some other factors. That led me to dropping the ball in here. And yes, it was a bit of a regret, but I think right now I'm in a good space of continuing this. Why am I saying that? You remember at the end of last year, I spoken about how instead of, you know, just talking to mentors, I started the journey of seeking a coach. So it was through the coaching exercise that actually I started to understand the importance of prioritizing your life. And from that, I spoke to the coach and I said, you know, when we had a memorial function for my friend, I was the one who was doing the program director. It was on Teams, it was a work thing, you know, family is there and I'm coordinating, playing gospel music, extracts from the Bible, poetry and all of that. And I said, I saw the comments that were coming through. We had about 80 to 100 comments that was just on that line. Everybody else was saddened, you know, this is what was happening. And some of them were saying, thank you for handling this sensitive matter in an appropriate way. And that hit me to say, why would people say that? I mean, this is quite easy, all of us could do it. But I remembered at one point when I was still we were doing a group work and I was speaking to some other guy who was a senior manager in Mahindra, and he said, thank you for talking to me in that way. You have that aura of a priest. And he said, I'm not saying you are the priest, but you have that way of, you know, putting things together in a nice way, same as priest does. They don't tell you that you're gonna die in hell, but they're in a way to put you so that you can do the right things. And he said, thank you for that. And it only started coming back as I was doing my coaching session. I said, that guy spoke about this. He wasn't saying I must go become a priest, but what he was saying is, I have a gift. My gift is to speak to people. Went back and I said, why am I stressing out if I have a gift? And my gift is I can talk to people nicely, bam, just like that. Then I went back and I reorganized my life a little bit, and I said, is my job as a financial analyst still working out for me? And I said, how many people do I speak to? How many? I realized that I only speak to the people in finance. I don't speak to people outside of finance. The number one was I have to become an analyst, because I love being an analyst. I need to become an analyst somewhere else. So I spoke around the organization, quite a nice organization. I became a strategy analyst. Why? Because it allowed me to speak to a bigger audience. Much more people can go into Menko and Opcom meetings and just listen in your contribution. You can see how everything else is going in quite nicely. That was my point number one. Point number two, and I said, in the church where I'm volunteering, I was a cameraman. Is that helping me to speak to people? It became no. Without me saying anything else, I found myself being an assistant to the head of media, just by coordinating people to say, guy, you're gonna be on leave at this time. Why aren't you performing? What's wrong with you? Why aren't you doing this? What's wrong with you? That talking to people was giving me energy. And I found myself continuing. Hence why I started and I said I had to continue, because I found this is what I enjoyed doing. And I spoke to the coach and I said, this channel was a gateway for me to speak to people and mentor them, or give them advice based on where I was. Others are battling with, what subjects should I take when I enter university? I mean, it looks simple, but when I go back and I started looking at the menu of degrees or certificates that you can do, they are quite way far different to what I used to do. So it becomes like a learning cycle for me. And another thing that I've done is, I might have mentioned that I did my master's in development finance. So I found myself, going into the organization that I work into the bank, and saying, what is the purpose of the bank? I became one of those guys that tried to champion that. And I found myself leaning towards, this, what we used to call the donation side of things, the foundation part of the bank, where they are looking for NPOs that they want to fund, give them money so that they can grow and create jobs. I found myself talking to NPOs, like, this is how your application should look like, this profile doesn't look good. And at the end of the day, I don't feel as much stressed as I used to be. So I think the stress was, I did not see the link between what I was doing, my analysis, to who's using it. I was seeing it in the boardroom. We can go to the boardroom and say, yes, we did a 3-year plan in record time, 2 weeks, we are done, cheers, everybody, here's your bonuses, go on leave, book a holiday. But at one point, all of that was creating stress to me, because I wasn't seeing the end user. And by me creating this end user and creating these pillars, I found myself a new purpose. I found my new purpose, and my purpose in this earth, I nearly said, it's not to make a lot of money, but I thought to myself, why do I have to limit myself? My purpose in this earth, without limiting myself, it's all about assisting the people that are information deprived, by telling them where to get the information, how the information works, and how to make use of this information. Because it's one thing that you are information deprived and then they tell you where the information is. It will sound good, but after that it will make you sick, because you're like, oh, I can do a degree. Okay, how do I make a degree now? So my journey is not just to tell you what to do, but to show you where to get it and how to get it, so that what's left from between you and I is just your action or your inaction. It's the only thing else that will make us, our relationship either go forward or go backward. And that is actually the cornerstone. And that I have from that purpose statement, I have different pillars that I'm actually working in. And this is one of those pillars where I'm helping you visually to say, this is where I see the world going, this is where I see my career going, this is how you can take advantage of that opportunity. But yeah, it feels good. It feels really, really good to be back, and I'm here to stay. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't, please hit that button. If you have not, please right now. The like button also helps. I found people that I volunteer with. They said, we found you on YouTube. Why didn't you tell us that you're there? I'm like, no, it's a niche for analysts. You guys are not analysts. But then I realized that, why am I stopping into analysts? We can actually share this with everybody. Just hit the like button. If you like whatever this video, it will, suggest to other people that like watching similar videos that you watch. So in that way, we are able to, I get to live my purpose, and you help me to get to live my purpose. And I will thank you every day for allowing me to live my purpose. But for now, Thank you very much for watching this video. Please subscribe. See you next time. Cheers.